Welcome back, listeners. I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. Today we have a special guest, Ms. Nicole Kranz. She is an author, and we're going to be speaking about emotional scars and toxic relationships and the book that she wrote regarding these things. So, Nicole, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Robin, for welcoming me, actually, and to talk about this very particular topic.
I'm very excited to kind of dive into this because I feel that this is going to kind of be able to relate to a lot of relationships. So first, what's the name of your book?
This is Bullshit, Not a Love Story. and actually there is a story behind the bull, the BS. It's really because I went to see a bullfight, and it was in a very tiny village in Spain. And it was a Sunday, and it's very popular there. So I decided to go to have a look at it. And suddenly I saw my own story actually in front of me. This kind of, episodes after episodes, starting with a nice dance between the bull and the matador, and then so on and so on until the killing process. And I realized that whatever I've been through wasn't too far from what I was looking at.
Yeah.
You know, this perversion, this silence, this calm before, what is waiting for you. And it's a little bit the same thing that you go through when you are with a toxic person, whereas it's in a couple, with a friend, with a boss. There is always a nice dance at the beginning that you feel that everything is so nice, so comfortable, that you are feeling loved in certain ways is what you want to feel, no? So,
yeah. And I feel like, so what would you say when it comes to these toxic relationships? What is it that you feel that we're typically chasing? Is we're just chasing love? We're chasing to fill a void? What would you suggest?
I think the first thing really starts from us. It starts from our own failure. For me, for example, I will take my example because I don't think it's right to generalize everyone. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a past. Everyone has a mother, a father, maybe a toxic mother, maybe a toxic father, maybe a lack of love, abandonment. For me, it was really this feeling of abandonment, to have a kind of a toxic mother, even though I know she loved me the way she could. She was coming actually from another time. And I was, I think, looking for that love, looking for somebody who will take care of me. And as well, I think I took the example of my parents, that they have been together since ever. And it was another time that, I'm 50 plus. So my parents at that time, when they met, in the 60s, the woman would say yes easily to avoid a lot of turmoil in the couple. That's that's actually something that we are starting to talk about it. The thing that is not okay just to say always yes to avoid conflict. I think conflict is very sane. Conflict is here for us to grow, to be able to sit down, to talk, and to see exactly who you have in front of you. Nobody is capable of saying, okay, I'm sorry, it's my mistake. But we can learn to go into that direction. But if you have somebody who's just shutting the door and giving you these cold and warm showers all the time, it started to make something really weird inside you. You are starting to being brainwashed. And the more he does that, because he can put you down and then lift you up, you keep to lift you up, and you say, okay, that's okay. Whatever he said before, whatever he did, look at him now. He loves me, you know? And it's again, this mirror with what is missing inside you, this inner love or this abandonment that you haven't resolved it yet with your therapist, because I think we should all be aware that at a certain point we need help, that as well. It's an important point.
And that's very true, because I know it says here that, you speak about manipulation and being in manipulative relationships. And when we're chasing love, sometimes you fall into that because you're just trying to fill that void. But how do you differentiate? It's like, how do you focus on finding yourself first when you're entering these types of relationships?
I think there is I think there is a reason why you enter into those relationships. I always say, I don't forgive, but I thank him. That's two different things, because thanks to that relationship, to that encounter, he really opened the door for me to go into the real therapy that I needed long before, but I wasn't ready for that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's for certain people, you cannot avoid those encounters, but we have to learn definitely from it. They are there for a reason, no matter what. And the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about self-respect. I think is where everything starts, is really the self-respect. Then you start to attract good people, and you see how powerful it is, the work that you've done on yourself, because everything starts from that. And when I started to learn the no, when it was already like long after I left him, and I started the process of healing, I saw the power of saying no. Yes, we can always say yes. Yes is the easiest way. Mm-hmm. But the no gives you the truth.
Yeah.
No matter what. It gives you the truth, because you will have the person in front of you reacting regarding your no. The yes, you will, everybody's accept the yes. But the no, suddenly how people will react to no, that's my limit. Please respect my limit. Yeah. And you will see that certain people, they pushing, they don't respect it. They say, but that person actually is not good for me. Yeah. And it's so good when you reach that point that said, but you don't deserve me, actually. You don't deserve to belong into my life. And, but that's part of the healing is so long. The healing,
Yes, it is.
The healing, it's a book that I just finished now called I Am Madonna. And I really like, wow. And it's a beautiful path. I think it's the most beautiful path anyone can go through, because you go into the truth, truth of yourself first, and then truth of reality and life. And then you start to listen to what life is telling you. Life has a language, and people tend not to listen to what life has to tell you. And life is linked with your body. Life is linked with your feeling. Life is linked with your instincts. You probably felt that, I'm sure, one day that you suddenly you were with somebody and that you didn't feel comfortable. There was a vibe that, So what did you do at that time? Did you stick or did you go?
Yeah, both. I've experienced both. So yes.
So I think it's when you go that you've done your job. If you keep staying because you're still curious, is that okay? There is still some job to do. I think until the last breath, we're still going to continue to work on ourselves. If we are the people that we are, you and I probably, that we decided to go into the healing. Yeah. Healing, it doesn't mean you're sick. Healing is just taking care of your wounds. It's taking care of your suffering as much as the joyful moment. Is right. Respecting your entire identity.
Yeah, and I definitely want to circle back on that. But first, I want to know what exactly happened with you and your experience.
It's, I think I was living in New York. I was a very career-minded person. And New York was really home for me. And I met this man, and I think I was 31. And I had a long life after me, and maybe it was time for me to replicate what my mother did, just to settle down and to make sure that a man will take care of me, which is absolutely not who I am, but why not? Just to know how it is to embrace this thing of being at home and actually love. Because love is caring, love is sharing, love is feeding, love is natural for a woman, actually. I think there is something inside us as women that naturally we do it. So probably naturally we will make some mistake as well. But in any case, So I met him and I left New York to go abroad and be with him in Switzerland. And I got very, very depressed because I left New York. But I think it was always mixing up with suddenly I realized the huge mistake I did, because it didn't take for me too long not to see who he was at the extended point, but immediately to see that maybe I had to follow certain rules. You know, he was divorced, he had 2 kids. So every time the girls were there, it was only about the girls. I had to follow. And then a year after, I had a stroke in my eyes, a very violent stroke. I lost half of my sight. Yeah. And then from there, my health, actually my body started to collapse. Really, my immune system, got weaker and weaker. And I remember when they took my car, they came to get the car and she said, but your car, in any case, I will give it to my daughter. She will need one right now. But with a very, you know, a smile that wasn't that nice. It wasn't caring smile. He said, you see, now this car belongs to my daughter. And knowing that I wouldn't be able to drive anymore in my life. So this lack of empathy started to grow and grow and grow. And I saw that every time I was sad or, you know, he would turn this against me, because obviously I told him about my life, that I used to be a drug addict when I was young. I was anorexic. I was a borderline. I was borderline. But these are not weaknesses. This is who I am. And I know how I deal with myself. I went to the psychiatrist since a teen. And he used that against me more and more. So every time he would push me down, he had a reason for it, because I was the complicated person. Like most of the time, this is the man of another time, they would use exactly always the same sentence. But you know, you are hysterical, you are as woman, this image of the woman always being the problem.
Yeah.
And then step by step, he showed a side of him that was really linked into sexuality, but really like, I could tell, really a sickness, an obsession, really. And by forcing me, he obliged me to become somebody I wasn't.
Yeah.
And if you talk to people always say, but you could have said no. And when you are in this relationship, no matter what, if it's sexual, if it's violence, if it's verbal violence, he was using verbal violence with me, and then it was sexual abuse. So all those things, when people say, but you could have left, you could have said no, because he already made sure that you were trapped in his game, that you were weak enough not for you able to leave.
Right.
And that's something that only the people, I think, who've been through that can totally relate to it. But I think it's important for the people who haven't been in this situation to carefully listen to us.
Right.
To observe and to make sure that if they can help, they could actually ask, let me invite you for lunch and I want to know how you are. Not why are you staying with him. The why are you staying with him is useless.
Yeah.
We have to go deep into the caring, you know, deep into I can tell there is something wrong. Let me help you. Let me know what's going on. I'm here. You know, it's because it's so well done. It's so well put.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, I agree. Because one of the things that I've realized with manipulators, because Lord knows I've definitely had my fair share.
Yeah.
They bring you to the point of trust. Like they will just love bomb you or whatever, the name that you want to give it. And they're very open. They're very nice and sweet. in the beginning because they want to get you to build that trust, right? So once you trust them, they're building your loyalty toward them, because where loyalty lies, it becomes harder to see the truth. So it's like you to become blind to their tactics, so it's easier to manipulate you because now you've already felt for this facade that they were putting on.
Absolutely.
Now you just say, well, where do I go? Because now I trust them. I have this loyalty. I've already put all this time and energy into it. So now I don't want to give up on it. And that's what people don't see when we're in those relationships, when they ask, well, why doesn't she just leave? Why doesn't she just do that? Because of what you already built behind closed doors.
Absolutely. And he turns the things that at the beginning is your savior. Mm-hmm. And the more you go in, you have become his savior, because people say, why you don't leave him? No, but he needs me. He had a very difficult childhood or whatever. The situation is being turned always and always and always and always. Yeah. So for us, there is a time for us to leave. That's for sure. But unfortunately, we have to go until the end of the story. Yeah. And, and it can last a year, as it can last 6 years for me, as it can last. And I've been with another man like him before that. So I knew I would never say the problem came from me, but I take my share. I take my responsibility to have ended up with those guys. Of course, I have my share, it's and I think that's as well very important, not to always blame the other. He's an ass, sorry, the language. He's the one. I said, yes, he's the one, but there is a reason why you were there too. Mm-hmm. Because today I don't see why I would go with somebody like him, or I even don't attract him. I don't attract them anymore. Yeah. Strangely enough, I don't know about you. If suddenly you see that suddenly you don't attract them anymore. Mm-hmm. You are not a magnet.
Yeah. And I think that's what's hard to get to, is because you constantly wonder, why am I attracting? Why am I attracting? But I know a lot of empaths with manipulators, they kind of mirror each other. God. They mirror each other. And that's why they attract each other so much. Yeah. One out to inspire, while the other is out to manipulate. But it's like you said earlier, it takes you meeting these people to see what you don't want as well. Yeah. And then once you finally say, enough is enough, I choose me, I choose better for myself, I deserve better for myself. I think that's like what you said. That's when you stop attracting that, because now your heart, your mind, everything is moving differently.
But it's years of work. It's years of you going out and just doing exactly what the same you used to. I said, my God, I failed again. It's like alcohol is the same thing with alcohol, the same thing with drugs, the same thing. It's just like to break the patterns. That takes time because it's within us for so many years. And at the same time for empaths like us, it's just that you cannot change. I'm not going to be the demon. I'm not going to be mad, or I'm not going to be angry. I'm not that kind of person. Yeah. But I realized that working on the no and small sentences, and sometimes not to have to explain yourself, that's where it's leading me to less stressful life, actually, because people like to fight, people like to push you to the corner. And I said, why? If you don't come with an understanding, then you are looking at me with something that you want from me that I'm not going to give you, anymore, because I'm no longer there. I'm no longer there.
And that's what I think is hard for people, is to realize that no is a sentence, right? Yes. The answer is no. They want to explain themselves, and then they again kind of absorb, okay, well, now I don't want to hurt their feelings. So now I'm thinking about how they feel. So let me try to.
Exactly.
How do you overcome that? I know it does take years, but what have you done to kind of overcome doing that?
first of all, therapy. So I left in 2010.
Yeah.
And it was very, in an early age that we talked about, toxic relationship, perversion, manipulation, and narcissistic personalities. And so, first of all, when I went to my psychiatrist that I knew her since I'm a teen, lucky for me, I had her. I pushed the door, and he did the thing so well that my parents couldn't talk to me. He did this thing so well that my parents accused me of everything. So I was really alone. I had nobody. I left with no friends, with nobody I could cope with. And on top of it, with a lot of shame, because what he put me through, like being a sexual object, it's not something that you can talk about it. It's not something that you don't carry a nice picture with you. And the first time I remember, it was still when I was married to him, that it was nearly the end, and I really collapsed, and he forced me to see a psychiatrist that I didn't know. And the psychiatrist didn't say a word. But for me, I was able to say out loud for the first time, while I was still living with him, that there was something wrong, that what I was living wasn't okay.
Right.
And that, because when you are in the relationship, everything is so tense that you don't have the space to say, that's not okay. No, you don't, because you are always in alert. You know, your body, your everything. That's why I got all these diseases afterwards, because you are so tense. And so suddenly pushing me to see the psychiatrist, he gave me the space for an hour just to release something that I was carrying for all these years. And I looked at the guy and I started to cry and cry and cry. I said, I think what I'm going through right now with this man is not normal.
Yeah.
And that was the first step. And when I left, I got, he had put some cameras in the house. My phone was he could listen to my phone. He had a hacker on my computer, so I was being watched 24/7. And when you start to realize this, then you start really to freak out. So I made my move out in a very walking on eggshells kind of way. And then when I start to speak to my psychiatrist, then it took time, because it's very scary when you realize what you've been through, because you could have been dead, first of all, but you realize who you have, I don't know, who you became, who you are, and the dirty skin, the dirty soul, the dirty heart, the dirty mind you are carrying with you, and that you have to start all over again. It's a total reset of your mindset, your soul, your body, to understand what life is.
Yeah.
So it took me today, now that I'm looking at you, I'm okay for that.
Yeah.
But and then I had, with my stroke in my eyes, he gave me herpes, but a herpes that was like a gentle one. I had never had for 20 years, 3 months without flares. So it's a non-stop thing. Then I have a lupus. I have a chronic fatigue. I had all this. And now, working on the PTSDs, because you cannot work on PTSDs right away when you leave, a trauma. You have to wait by the time your body, everyone is okay with you, to say, okay, let's dig in now. Let's go back to places. Let's go back and be gentle to those places. It's only now, these last 3 years, that finally I'm working with a fantastic therapist on my PTSDs, and it's really, really start to release the lupus. And there is a book actually that talks about it. The body keeps the score. Mm-hmm. And he realized that even the veteran coming back from the war with the PTSDs, when you walk, the body start to release itself from the pain.
Yeah. And I can only imagine what it was like when you said your first day with the psychiatrist, saying it out loud. That had to feel like such a release.
Yes, it was like, you are coming back from, wow, it feels like, you are escaping, you just escaped from a 6 years, cave, being trapped.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
And so I can imagine feeling like you're living like a prisoner, like you're feeling almost like a caged animal, and then to come out and have to face the world. So you have not only had this battle, now coming out of it is another battle.
Totally. You have to start from scratch. Everything is new. Everything is new. The way you have to behave with people, the way you have to cope with something that you absolutely don't know, because what you know is perversion, is manipulation, is a narcissistic issue, but as well violence is the shower code. And so how can you trust? How can you trust when somebody is nice to you?
Right.
You always accept something behind, and still today, hard for me to trust. Yeah. Where is the other side, guy? Show me the other side. You see? Of course. It's like a dog who's been beat up for years. Do you think like what? The new owners, like, oh, so nice, so nice, so nice. Do you think it's going to take like a minute or so for the dog to trust? Obviously not. And it takes years, and still today. Because and I think that's why we really have to be cautious on how we go into this healing, because it doesn't only touch your heart sphere. It really touches the heart sphere, linked with your parents, linked with your friends, linked with your colleagues, linked with the guy. Not always in life is linked with a love affair. No, it's in general. It's love in general. It's caring in general. That is the most important thing. I haven't been with anyone since then. I'm still building up myself, because now I'm sure I can welcome somebody into my life.
Right.
You see, and count the years. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I didn't do anything outside, but it was therapeutic in some ways. These people coming into my life, it was only to show me where I stand. You know?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was a big one, to show you where you stand. And that self-reflection is huge. You have to be able to see yourself first and have that self-awareness. And I know that can be very difficult.
Exactly. And it's just like this kind as well of I don't need anyone today to tell me I'm beautiful. I don't need. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. Today I don't have the hair that I wanted, but suddenly I said, okay, let's do it. Never mind. I'm okay. I'm okay. I like myself. I love myself. Yeah. Love myself. It takes you years, but you have still women that they're expecting. How do you see me today? Do you like it? I said, but you should know if you like it or not.
Right.
Nobody should tell you if you're okay or not. You leave the house the way you want to present yourself to the world.
Correct.
And not the world to see you from their own eyes. What is important, and that's the thing with, I'm guilty as well. I was into seduction. I was been brought up with a mother who taught me how seduction was important, much more than love. Mm-hmm. So you see, it's all this, your past comes as well to brings you to meet certain people, you know? And you cannot, it's not blaming, because I think it's a waste of time. But my mother did this, my mother did that. I said, no, it's okay. She did what she could, you know.
Right.
We always try. We are not perfect.
Absolutely. You know? And it seems like you've had to adjust to a lot of new realities. And I feel that sometimes we can move into a reality that we are not ready for. And then that on its own is just something that can become destructive. But just navigating through all those different transitions, it speaks volumes on what you said. First of all, it speaks volumes on how strong you are. And two, just when you said it takes years, that's almost an understatement. It's like, oh my goodness.
No, it's true. When you see these people today, these Gen Z, I have 5 solutions for you to be happy today. I look at it and said, what is that? It's so much more interesting to know yourself, to go deep into what is wrong with you. I've been into the deepest suffering to know exactly what joy means for me today. And when I was suffering, I still was suffering. I wouldn't escape. I would stand there suffering. I said, let's cope with this suffering and learn from it. Yeah. Hang in there. Because this tunnel, sooner or later, you will be out of it. But there is a reason for you to be in this tunnel. And that's why I think today, this pressure of you have to 5 seconds to say, no, what is precious today, even though life is definitely short, I don't know if 80 years, 70 years, or 50 years is short or not, depending on what you do with it. But in any case, we are here just for a certain time. And then, over that time, I don't know. I speak to my father. I speak to my mother that they are somewhere else, but I know they are around me, but I don't know the hell what they are doing there during the day. I don't know if they are partying or not. That's their own issue in paradise or whatever they are. But while I'm here, I want to experiment life. Yeah. You know, life is not something that you joke with. It's just something that is given to you. Do the best, even though it's struggling. And maybe, yes, I come from maybe a wealthier background than somebody else, but the suffering are the same. You know, it's just like, it's not because, I think just like make sure that if you have your health, you can walk and you can run. And sometimes you have to run. And with this experience I had with him, I had to walk very carefully to make sure that nothing would happen to me more than it did. And to understand that now it's my starting point to go into this healing process that finally I will understand what means really respect myself. And it's really that. It's so important. The self-respect, I think it's what gives you the higher freedom ever.
And trying to master self-discipline. Yeah.
Totally. And you're so right. Robin, discipline. Everyone has one. But my body brought me to India not to drink anymore. I don't smoke anymore. But I haven't decided. It's just like I was respecting my body and let him guide me to where I stand today and where I love my discipline. For me is my freedom.
It's free. Yeah. Living free. I like that. Without aside from your psychiatrist, how did you get to this point by yourself? Like, what did you do for your self-healing?
Oh my God, I went through many stages, and I did a ayahuasca I'm Brazilian, and I did a ayahuasca. It's a ritual with with Indian tribes, and you take some plants and you go into your subconscious. But it's not something that I will talk about it, lightly. It's absolutely because it's suddenly you go into the truth of yourself. And I did it for a couple of days with them, and it was very intense. And since then, actually, my subconscious linked with my consciousness. So I had another step of my healing process, and that really helped me. But that's me. Within 24 hours, I stopped smoking and then it was understanding that where I was heading to, I had to get rid of people.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of certain people that didn't serve me, that actually what is friendship? What is that friend? It is very here. When you are in a bad situation, I lost my father, I lost my mother, suddenly I said, who is there for me?
Yeah.
You know, it's when time is bad that you see if there is a nest for you with a bird coming in to feed you.
Right.
You know, and then it was so good. This I think this years of cleansing, and then my body actually collapsed. He got very ill, really ill. And I think he had his own burnout. I couldn't move anymore. My lupus was so high, everything. So I went to India to a Ayurvedic clinic, and then it really helped me because I do yoga. But it's really like suddenly I recognize the medicine that recognizes me. Yeah. And together we went into a beautiful journey. And since then, I always go back to India. That's really one of my places I relate with. And again, is this cleansing. And the more you go into the deep truth of yourself, the more there is a new you and a new world. Yeah. You know, opening itself in front. And now I'm exactly in the phase. That's why I'm so happy to release the book now in the States, because I know that in the States, you speak the same language as me, that we can talk about things. And I think it's so important to talk about things from the heart, to let people know and hear and relate to. I think this kind of, I can relate to this. Yeah. It's very important. And now is this wonderful feeling that everything is new. Is that I've been to the worst part of myself. Yeah. So now imagine me, I'm going into a reborn of what I truly don't know and ever experienced in my life, which is the beauty of life, the other side. And I think it's, it's a reward, because in any case, you have to work for that. It's a work. Yeah. You know, it's a work in progress, you know, and, I think it's, and that's why I think it's even more important for the woman not to forget that they are women, not to forget that there's this sensibility of a woman, and that not all men are bad, because today I think there is this new generation coming really much onto the extreme. And I think it's sad, because I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and what was wonderful, it was the game of seduction, there was nothing wrong about it. And I think we should come back to a certain phase where we are human beings, and like animals, they smell each other. There's something of instinct that you look at somebody's eyes and you say, I want to meet that person, right? You know, and not to be afraid, you know. I think this part of being scared stops you to living. Yeah. You know?
Absolutely. And like you had mentioned earlier, when you were speaking about the Gen Z, exactly. So like, that's where, like you said, you're not living free. You're getting caught in the technique. Because at the end of the day, I feel that everyone's trying to accomplish something and trying to be someone. I want to be known. I want to be this. I want to be that. And that's where you lose yourself. You're essentially losing yourself, because you're focusing on the technique of things. You're reaching out. You're looking for this. You're looking for that. No one focuses on just, I want to be free.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's very interesting, because this generation that, of course, I cannot criticize, but I can sometimes, I look at it and said, what the, actually, the empathy, actually, because they've got the screen in between life and them.
Correct.
So everything is wrong, and I wish we could go back to, no, not going back because I'm not nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
I lived the best time ever. So Robin, I don't know how old are you, but I don't need to go back. I was there, I was there, the first music in the 80s, 70s and 90s and early 2000. It was great. Yeah. Absolutely great.
Yeah.
And I think, and then suddenly you see this Gen Z who wants to know that. So they come up with, did you see the small videos? You wish you were there. So they go back to the guy with the bicycles. Yeah, when your mom would ask you to come back when the light was on.
Exactly.
And I cried. I just want to have fun now. Just have fun. Just lose it up, just lose it. Stop being like fighting for a cause that is not yours and just be on the street and have fun. Just if you see a girl, just don't go and talk to her. Don't use an app to see if she's like 5 meters from you and you can ask her, hello?
Yes. And I grew up in I was born in 86. I'm 40. So yeah.
Okay. So you see millennium. So we can still relate to certain things. I have a very good friend, she's your age. So but sometimes we disconnect. Sometimes, by the message that suddenly she doesn't respond. I said, hey, you respond to your mama. No. But it's true. So you see yourself, the difference with the Gen Z. Never forget that after Gen Z, you've got alpha and beta. I'm already scared.
Me too. I agree.
That they have couples that they never met. They've been going out for 3 years.
That is so true.
They don't know what they're missing, the guys. It's good. Because after it's harder. Now is the time for you guys.
They've been going out for 3 years. They never met.
And they take it so seriously. I know.
That is too. That is so true. That is too funny.
Robin, I think you're gonna blast. You're gonna have like 500,000 millions of you with us.
That is true. That is so true. I've always questioned it, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like
I don't get it. Soon they're gonna pass it on the eggs. She's gonna send the sperm, and then she's gonna put it, and they have a baby like this. Look at your son. A baby, a family of 5. with Christmas trees behind. The guy is in Alaska, she's in Florida.
Yeah. Look at your son. That is hilarious. I'm so sorry. That is so bad, but it's so true. I can see that happen.
And I look at all this and I say, my God, I'm so glad to be my age and, get tired.
Oh my God.
So you see, you can totally recover from a toxic relationship.
I'm sorry. I would be talking about that all day today. Like, that is so hilarious. Because I can see that happening.
I'm telling you. Oh, wow. The birthdays. Can you believe it? The birthday every time the cake. You got the father on the other side with the hat. Oh my God.
So bad.
We won't go till the wedding.
Oh,
And then
God.
grandparents and everything. We won't. Wow.
Oh man, I'm sorry. So
No, don't be.
whew, I needed that. So much truth to that. Like, because I don't see how they're just okay with zero communication. Like,
But because you know what? Because again, coming back to the topic, they are scared of conflict.
Yeah.
They don't deal with conflict.
Yeah, they're avoiding.
And that's actually another perversion we are entering into. Yeah. Because there is no such thing as having a relationship with your mother. How many fast people we have with our mother or our parents or whatever?
Right.
We cannot be in this world. Conflict doesn't mean hate.
Right.
Conflict is mean I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
And they are scared. They want a flat. They are Floridian. They are all from Florida, like flat land, guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my goodness! And what is the name of your book again, Nicole?
This is Bullshit, Not a Love Story.
Hold
on. Ay.
Yes.
I will send you one actually.
Oh, you're gonna send me one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Okay, you just send me your address, please.
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So how can listeners listen to you? Like, is there a website or what?
But I have a website, www.nicolekranz.com. Mm-hmm. I'm just launching a podcast called Joli Bordel. It means a beautiful mess. It's gonna be in English as well. Now we have some French people coming in, but now I'm gonna do it as well in English. So it's gonna be bilingual and with interesting people and like you know, to talk exactly what we're doing right now. I think it's important. Uh-huh. And I think it's important to do the way we are doing, you are doing, Robin, in a very casual way. Just let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk. You know, I think that's the best way. They're gonna laugh. But in any case, and next year my second book in English will be released is In My Mother's Skin. And actually is the continuity of This Is Bullshit, Not a Love Story. It actually, Chloe, the hero in the book, she puts herself in her mother's skin. And her mother was quite a toxic mother. And you understand as well why Chloe went with Cedric in this toxic relationship. It always comes from somewhere. We have to understand this somewhere at a certain point for us to heal properly as well and to forgive.
I like that. I like being able to see it from the two different sides.
Yeah. Definitely.
When are you, excuse me, when are you launching your podcast?
My podcast is already on.
So okay.
Joli Bordel. I will send it to you.
Okay.
And now we're going to start to invite some English people, English guests, English speaking guests.
I like that. And then all this is going to go in the show notes as well. But yeah, if you could definitely send me all of those things.
I will send it to you.
Okay. And if there's any advice or suggestions that you can give the listeners, what would it be?
Listen to life. She says it all.
Mm-hmm.
She does. Listen your guts. Really.
Yeah.
Amongst, everything maybe you are dealing with. Suddenly, I think it's important to stop, really to stop and to listen to yourself, to listen to life.
Mm-hmm.
No one can give you the answer better than yourself.
And I love that. And because especially earlier when you said that life is a language, that
totally
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
Hey, Robin, it was.
It has been such a pleasure speaking with you.
It was really. Let's keep in touch. In any case, you give me your address for me to send you the book, please.
Well, yes.
Okay, and you let me know. Will. I don't know if you're gonna let Camille know when you're gonna launch the podcast. I don't know. You're gonna let me know or let her know. You let me know when it's out. The podcast.
Yeah. As soon as I'll go over that with you here in just a second. But thank you, everyone. Again, this is Nicole Kranz. I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. Everyone, stay blessed.
Thank you, Robin.
No problem.